Yes, what is up? BDA here, guys. And you know, who else could it be? Fairy Tail, chapter review. Let's talk about it. This chapter was a great chapter, okay? It showed us a lot, it revealed a lot, and it kind of tied up some things that we were curious about. First thing, Zeref. He brings back Mavis's body, and she's dead, okay? Mavis is dead, somewhat. He brings it back to Hades, and Hades is now the second guildmaster. And he reminds me of Gajeel in how he states his comments. Oh, I'm stuck with the guild. Everybody's going to the harvest. Blah, blah, blah. He throws Mavis's dead body on the ground. And he's like, yo, she's not a doll. What are you doing? He's like, that thing is no longer alive. When Zeref did that, we didn't believe it because we knew that Zeref was in love with Mavis. So a couple pages later, Zeref is crying and said he doesn't want to see a single soul. He's like, yeah, I should never have fallen in love, okay? So that's how he looked at it, but he had to be that way because of his curse. He's a walking contradiction. So he says he's going back to his pawns in Alvarez because he doesn't view them as humans, so therefore he wouldn't kill them. So that's interesting. That's foreshadowing and, you know, kind of tying things back into what's going on right now. He also says if Mavis is a fairy, then I must be a Spriggan, okay? So again, remember, he's Emperor Spriggan in Alvarez, so again, some more foreshadowing. Hades gets to Mavis's body, right? And he notices, okay, her heart has stopped, but I feel magic coming from her heart. Basically, he takes her down to Fairy Tail's basement to try to resurrect her because they had a lacrima that had been in development to revive people. They had it in the works, so he threw her in there to reserve her because she can't die, okay? She has this eternal curse on her where she's not dead. So he used that, and Mavis is narrating at this point and says that because of Hades' genius and her everlasting curse, he came up with the eternal magic Fairy Heart. Fairy Heart is explained in this chapter. They put it in perspective. They said Etherion, okay? Etherion was that thing the Magic Council had, or the weapon the Magic Council had, that they could fire and could destroy a country in one shot. We remember how much life or how much power they needed just to power it up, right? It needed a lot of power. She said that with Fairy Heart, you could continuously fire this weapon, okay? And this could destroy a country in one shot. Yeah, Fairy Heart is serious. To stumble upon Fairy Heart, he put a lot of time into this. He spent half of his life, or most of his life, it seems like, researching how to revive Mavis. That begs the question, was Hades secretly in love with Mavis? Because it's like, he did a lot to try and bring her back because she wasn't dead, okay? Because she has the curse, but she wasn't alive, if that makes sense, okay? So she's a contradiction as well. So Pappy asked the question that I was thinking. If everybody's coming after Fairy Heart, okay, why can't we just use Fairy Heart for our own purpose? But then they said you don't want to open that bottle, okay? You don't want to open those can of worms because you're not sure how that's going to react. Somebody asked a question to Mavis and said, okay, isn't Alvarez pretty strong enough? Like, why do they need Fairy Heart? And she says it's probably to defeat Acnologia. Zeref is really powerful. We know how powerful the people in Alvarez are, and you still need all this power to destroy Acnologia? That's unbelievable, okay? So Acnologia for the win in this chapter. Back to Yuri Dreyar though. They said that Yuri died, okay? But it didn't state how he died. I wasn't okay with that. I'm reading the chapter, I'm like, okay, Yuri died. How did he die? Tell me how he died. This ties into some theory that people had that Yuri Dreyar is the strongest person that went over to Alvarez, God Serena. They say they look a lot alike, and I looked at it and they do. What if Yuri is God Serena and he is basically a resurrection that somebody worked on? Maybe Zeref, we don't know. To backtrack a bit, Hades uncovered that Mavis had the Angsaram curse, and he kind of put two and two together and realized that, okay, this is probably what took Rita's life, Rita being Makarov's mom. So Hades, he was like, man, Mavis, you caused a lot of trouble, man. You caused a lot of trouble, but he didn't tell anyone. So Hades, he was a noble guy. He also tells the guild that Mavis is dead, and they bury her on Tenor Island. Tenor Island, if we remember, is where she grew up, okay? So they bury her there, but she, the whole time, was in Fairy Tail's basement in that locker room. A funny moment that made me laugh out loud though was Gajeel. Mavis says, "I'm sorry that my sins had to make everybody suffer." And Gajeel says, "You know what? It's not a sin to fall in love with anybody. Even I wouldn't arrest you for that." Levy has some sweat running down. Of course they show Levy. And then you see a couple of them are like, "What? What are you saying, Gajeel?" Gajeel says, "Stop looking at me like that, you idiots." That was hilarious. It's like Gajeel, how he's changed since the beginning of the series has been amazing, and I'm for it, definitely. They go on to talk about how the guild has improved and how it's become the way it is because of Mavis. So they're thanking her, and then Juvia says, "Now we're gonna have to go up against the one you love, and you're gonna have to kill him." And Mavis is basically saying, "You know what? It can't be helped. That's just what has to happen." And Evergreen's like, "Okay, he can't die, right? Like he can't die. So how do we beat him?" And not to mention the other people behind him. Of course, the one and only Fire Lightning Dragon, you can call him now. Like, he jumps on the table and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill him. That's why I've been saving my right arm." Actually, he said, "I've been saving my right arm for that because it's bandaged up. So I'm not sure if he had something like what Kana had when she had this special technique." Beating Zeref, a guy who's immortal, I don't see how Nox is gonna do that. But he's due a power up because right now he can't beat Acnologia and Zeref, and he's gonna have to match up with them, right? So something has to happen between that time. Good chapter. Really good. Showed us a lot. Why did they not explain why or how Yuri died? That's what I'm interested in. I'm sure they're going to tell us more about Mavis and how she was able to communicate even though she's technically dead but still alive. That's it though. Good chapter. Great chapter. Probably B+ chapter. Yeah, B+ chapter. It was really good. Like the video if you did. Comment, let me know what you thought about the chapter. Subscribe to the channel, and have a great day.